Hello. Hello. I'm Sister Lisa Peter, and I'm coming to you today on November the 10th, 2019. Had to think for a minute. This year has been going by so fast. I don't know about you all. And I've already been working on stuff for 2020, and so I had to think a minute. We're not into 2020 yet, but it's coming fast. Today I am talking about the 52 facts about the book of Acts, and we are on fact 45. Can you believe already the 45th? Hello. And today it is Truth Sets Free. We sang the song, He that the Son has set free is free indeed. No more chains of slavery. Truth shall triumph in victory. He that the Son has set free is free indeed. And as we're doing the book of Acts, the facts about the book of Acts, that goes Acts 13, 38, and 39. It says, Be it known unto you therefore, men and brethren, that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins, and by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses. Jesus said that he is the way, the truth, and the life. So the truth, if you know Jesus, then you know the truth. He that the Son has set free is free indeed. And there's a lot of verses. I looked up and there was like a whole lot of verses about truth and freedom. And in 2 Corinthians 3 and 17 it says, Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. It happens to be my 312th devotional and podcast. No, I have not been doing that many of them live. Most of them have just been webcam or podcast. But the very first one I ever did was called The Emptying of Oneself. You know, we need to be poured out before God so that He can fill us with His Spirit, so we can do His will, His way. Use me, Lord. Complete that which you have begun in me. And we've also been talking about, last week we talked about being a living epistle. Oh, I have my paper here. 3 sheets of all the devotionals topics I have done over the past 6 years. So there's a lot of topics. There's a lot of things, but so many of them have been repeats. As I look back through there, there's similarities because, you know, it's just like if you was using a Sunday school manual, you know, how you touch on the same topics year by year, because there's always new things to learn. There's more to add. Line upon line, precept upon precept. The truth, His truth, is marching on. And I started something and I switched. But last week we talked about being a living epistle. Someone who looks at us who would know that we are the real deal. And as I was researching my topic, I ran across this book in our home library that we call the Edwina Elder Library. This is called Walking the Bible. I'll hold that back up so you can see it. I got my webcam and my Facebook Live going at the same time. So that's why I don't always look at one or the other. But it's called A Journey by Land Through the 5 Books of Moses. And you can see by my bookmark I haven't got very far in there. But I've taken notes. I've been taking some notes. And you say, what's this have to do about what you're talking about today? Well, this Bruce, F-E-I-L-E-R, Bruce Filler, he's the author of a book called Abraham, which I haven't read that. But you may know him from that book. But he's talking about a journey by land through the 5 books of Moses. In this book, he, along with some tour guides, they take actual footsteps where Abraham and Moses and others of the Bible have walked. They saw firsthand the war zone areas and the real struggle between Israel and the land of Palestine, which the same land that God promised to Abraham for his offspring. I've written through the prologue in chapter 1, actually, is all I've written. But the notes, these notes, it just shows you that, just like somebody said on here, this is an instant classic, a pure joy to read from the Washington Post book world. This is a good book. And the reason this guy who wrote this book is because he wanted to know, is the Bible true? Is it truth? Is it the truth? And so you go over there and you see the whole Bible opening right before your eyes. Right now, my cousin, Amanda Bells, they're from New Life Fellowship in Terre Haute, some of their group is over there in Israel right now, or they were this past week. I think they're still over there. And just seeing her accounts, and she says, it has changed her life. She said, I won't be the same again. Just exploring and seeing the Bible is real. This is the truth. This is the truth. And so they're over there seeing it with their own eyes, and seeing that the Bible, even though every word in it is true, and that it's never changed through the passages of time. And I wrote some highlights, if you don't mind me reading some. If of course, if you don't want to hear it, you can turn it off. But it's just it looks like I got tons of pages here, but some of it's not what I'm going to be talking about. Some of it's just my notes I use every week. So it's just a couple pages here. It's talking about the bottom here. What was important in my ongoing hunt is what the guy says. He says this quest to verify the biblical story, which itself masks one of the oldest human desires, the need to make contact with God. That was his desire. Was God real? And so that's why he started looking for her. The desire for meaning and understandings, the context, fact or fiction. Was the Bible just made up, or is it true? When and where did the stories of the Bible take place? These are questions he wanted to know. That's why he started out on his quest. It took place in the Middle East, places where the Bible stories originated. Not some abstraction, but a living, breathing entity, a real place, unencumbered by the sterilization of time. If anything, it is an ongoing narrative. Stories that begin in the sand, sketched in stone, passed down through families, nearly 5,000 years after they were first etched into memory. God just appears and begins to create the world, using only words as tools. Yet from the beginning, he's solely in control. And I found out, you probably already knew this, but I found out that the GPS, they talked about, that's what they used to find their way around the biblical times. That's what this tour guide and this author of this book, they use the GPS, which you know that is. It stands for Global Positioning System. You may have known that. But it tracks the routes. This is what I didn't know. It uses military satellites. And so I thought that was pretty neat, that it's using the military satellites to find that. So when you're going down the road and they take you out into some field that says you reach your destination and you say, no, this is not where I'm trying to go. Well, as a GPS, those satellites messing up. But anyway, in the Bible we find that Abraham, he hears the voice of God. He's saying, go forth, and he goes. Faith and obedience. Can you imagine that? He hears the voice of God, and he says, go forth, and Abraham goes forth. That's quite big. That's a big thing to do. That's obedience. Some journeys we choose to go on, but some journeys choose us. Hebrew, the word you are, the you're, that is the capital of summer. I may not pronounce this right. It's S-U-M-E-R. I figured it's like summer, but our summer has two M's. It's S-U-M-E-R. Shinar and summer are the same place. Could be Sumer, I don't know. But the word Babel means to confuse. And 10 generations from Noah to Abraham in Genesis 11. There were 10 generations. It's all crammed right there. 10 whole generations just in the first 11 chapters of the Bible. Abram's name means the father is exalted. But when his name gets changed to Abraham, it means the father of a multitude. This happened in 1900 BCE. In chapter 1, in the land of Canaan, a patriarch, the P-A-T-R-I-A, that means a family or a clan. The arch, A-R-C-H-E, means a ruler. You know, we always talk about Father Abraham had many sons. He's the patriarch of the family. The Bible talks about Abraham and his son Isaac and his son Jacob. It's a generational book. These were the ones the story was about in the Promised Land, Israel. 39 chapters of Genesis. The entire geographical spectrum of the ancient Near East and Mesopotamia to Egypt and back again. Midrash means to search out or investigate. Shechem was the first place that Abraham stops in Canaan after Haran. Bethel was the second place. And then you've heard of Bethel. What did he do in Bethel? He built an altar to God. He built an altar. See, that's what we have to do in our life. As you're seeking out truth, as you're seeking out to know more about God, you've got to build an altar. You must repent. You must repent. And then after you repent, you go on and know more about God. Check